It's 2025. If you are not using data to your advantage, you are obviously going to get outcompeted by AI and robots in this decade. Our grandparents had access to cheap housing. The people in the 2010s had access to cheap Bitcoin. We have access to cheap, fast, and on-demand information, and it's up to you to be aware as to how to use it to your advantage to succeed as a retail investor. You can think of data as the same as the diesel of a truck's engine. Without data, there's no AI. You can't train it, you can't use it, you can't customize it, you can't implement logic. You need billions of data sets to train AI, and that's why data is the new oil. This is a super important concept to understand. Data universe literally gives an everyday person the kind of data that only Facebook, Google, Amazon's, the big tech would have had access just a few years ago, and they're democratizing it all. We are going to go over that subnet, how it works, what's their revenue model, who are their clients, do I like this subnet, am I going to buy this subnet in the near future, what do I think about its price, why is it hype, and we're even going to explore some of their tools such as Gravity and Nebula, even download a data set to use it for yourself. Let's jump right in. In one sentence, Data Universe is the world's largest decentralized open source data repository. You have miners across the globe who spin up powerful scrapers, and they take in all the information from various social media platforms such as YouTube, X, Reddit, all sorts of social medias, and they aggregate that information into data sets. Then Data Universe takes in that information, packages it up, and provides a simple, ready, on-demand user interface with their tools, with their data, with their API endpoints, with their trackers, all sorts of things. It is super interesting. I want to use a simple analogy for you to understand why data is so important across many different types of markets nowadays. Imagine you want to open a restaurant. Would you want to guess the menu and what people might like? Or you rather have every conversation about every food topic on all social media platforms at the tip of your fingers? This is exactly what Subnet 13 does. It gives you the world's social conversation feed because they have billions of rows of data and just data sets in general that you can tap into as a client. Why does this matter for different types of markets? So for example, a marketing agency would love to understand what people are talking about, what are they liking, what are the new trends? How can they help businesses in itself? So they need large data for them to actually do their job. The simple fact of training AI requires tons of data because AI is either trained on human data or on synthetic data. So this is something super important as well. Politics, you can track voter sentiment. Let's say you want to create a startup company. You can have sentiment trackers and just data as to what people need for you to build your most valuable product. You can study trends, behavior, prediction market, prices, assets, anything you can think of. That's why data is the new oil, and it impacts literally everything nowadays because everything is digitalized. Why is what I'm saying hype for an average Joe like me and you? What can you do with that information? So you want to grow an X account, which is super useful nowadays. You need to study the trends and what's bumping. You want to invest smarter, track what's bumping in crypto, track what people are buying and selling. You need automatic data pipelines for that as well. You want to build an AI agent which you can sell in the future. Well, you need data sets. Someone has to provide that at some point at a large scale. To put you in perspective, the Subnet 13 miners have aggregated a total of 55 billion rows of data, and it's currently increasing by 1.1 billion per week. According to their documentation, Data Universe currently covers about 75% of social conversations online. Could you imagine what gold nuggets you can find in there? They have a super interesting tool which is called Gravity, which is a large language model scraper. With this tool, it's so hype. It's like saying to ChatGPT, hey, collect every YouTube comment, Reddit thread, or X post about Bitcoin's price in the last 48 hours, and it just does it for you cleanly in a nice user interface. Maybe 10 years ago, to get scraping data, you would need APIs and a whole dev team, maybe costing you 10K a month. But now with Gravity's tool, any person's mom can literally scrape the web with one click. They have another feature which is called the dataset marketplace, which takes in those datasets and labels them, structures them, organizes them for people to use quickly and efficiently. It's like the App Store, but for datasets. So you can search Ethereum elections 2024, OpenAI drama, and you can instantly download structured conversations. It saves you time, you don't need to scrape, and it's ready for AI training. Another cool feature is Nebula 3D, which you can visualize clusters, keywords, and just top contributors. Imagine Google Maps, but instead of seeing cities, you see clusters of conversations and just hype. You can see what topics are heating up or drying down. So once again, you can type some keywords and you can see what is bumping or not. Something very, very important for brand owners, influencers, just people having an audience. They have a sentiment analysis dashboard, which can be super interesting for traders, retail investors like us that want to track sentiment, understand the emotion, or trying to be contrarian and just make good trades. This could be something very useful. And maybe for marketing agencies, they have a feature called metadata enrichment, which includes the like count, the followers, engagement data for them to properly run their analyses. So instead of just seeing the tweet, it's like a dashboard where you get to see the whole context with likes, followers, engagements, etc. Something very useful for marketing agencies. What I do like about Subnet 13 is that even though the price is crashing down, they have a lot of partnerships, which is often a good sign that they're building in the shadows. So for example, Subnet 44 Score used Subnet's 13 dataset to connect sport conversations to help them predict sport outcomes, which is pretty interesting. It might give you an extra edge when you see what people are talking about. So Gaia, Subnet 57, used Datauniverse's datasets, and they made like a human readable dashboard of what people are saying about weather. If you go on Tao app and you use their AI agent, which is called Tao Savant, you are going to understand it is connected once again with Subnet 13's data for you to have good information when you ask him Bittensor related questions. It is also connected with an AI agent on Next called Taylor Labs. Michael Taylor agent, I think, is like a meme of Michael Saylor, but for Bittensor, which is pretty interesting. And it predicts real-time sentiment apparently. And obviously, Subnet 13 is partnered with Macrocosmos, the team owning that actual subnet, which is like the hosting provider. Let's quickly hop on to their website because I really think their website is super cool. I like that little cosmic space vibe to it. And let's explore the tools that they have to offer for everyday people like me and you. Because at the end of the day, I'm saying all these things, you need to use data to your advantage. I'm constantly building Bittensor tools, so I'm very interested to plug myself with that subnet to see what interesting things I can do. And you can directly see on their front page the world's largest social media data flow in your hands. And if you scroll down, there is a very cool animation of a space thingy-majiggy. I don't know what that is. I'm not an astronaut, but it's freaking cool. It's like a billion stars combined all together. I love it. It's very professional. And you can quickly see their products, Gravity, Marketplace, Nebula, all very interesting products. We're gonna go over their revenue model after I show you their tools. So right now I'm going to be showing you how to actually use Gravity, how to scrape data and download a data set for yourself so you can start opening up your mind what you can do with Macrocosmos's Subnet 13 data. So the first thing, just click sign up. To keep it simple, I would log in with Google because it's the quickest, the fastest. So just do that. So as soon as you create an account and you click sign up, it's actually going to take you to this page right here, the Gravity Marketplace page. If you click their logo and you go on account settings and you click on your subscription, you can directly see your account with $5 for you to start using their products for free if you want to try them out at a low scale. So here is a very simple demonstration on how to use their super cool tool, which is called Gravity, for you to get instant information in datasets. So click here, create a new scraping task. So on the left side on basic details, we're going to write Bittensor Subnet conversations. So for me to label my actual dataset. So let's say I want all of the Bittensor Subnet conversations of the last month. So we're going to leave the date from October 18th to now. And obviously all of Bittensor's alpha is mostly on X. So we're going to select X's platform and I want to scrape keywords to understand who is saying what. I need that information now. I would also want some hashtags because there's a lot of people on X. At the end of their posts, they often hashtag the number of the subnet. So let me put a few subnets that mooned recently. So 127, 60, 122. We're gonna put ridges as well. And in keywords, I want subnet, tau, d-tau because this is dynamic tau, maybe subnets with a plural. And just like that with Gravity, you can click launch data collection and the miners will go to work for you. So let's test it out. Click. And I think it takes a few minutes for the data to come to you. And boom, as you can see, dataset building started. You will be notified by email when the dataset is ready. And we're gonna go and see the CSV file that's going to be ready for download for us to use and analyze our dataset. And once you launch the scraping task, I really love their insights page, man. It is literally amazing. You have your progress bar right here, your estimated cost as to how much you've scraped. You have insights on the amount of data that is scraped by platform. As you can see, almost 2,500 Twitter posts. We have the keyword status overview right here. Some are running, some are pending. We have the records, the size. And you also have the dataset size, which is almost 1 megabyte at the moment, and it cost me 11 cents. So under the hood, all of this is done by miners. As you can see, they're working really hard. But this is literally perfect for me. As you can see, I have a whole vibe coding playlist. And data is super important for me right now to make a killing in Subnet. So I'm already starting to click what kind of interesting tools I can build. Guys, the world is literally my oyster. I will literally try to make a killing with subnets with this tool right here. I'm loving it. So let's go over and click the button right here, build dataset. We have 2,272 records and we can build the dataset. On the bottom right, you can click the white button right here. So after a few seconds, you can go back to their main page and click the little button right here, tasks. And you can see the dataset that we've just selected and worked on previously. So there is a drop down button right here. You click X and you can select download as CSV. You're going to have your whole data set on your computer for 300 KB. This is insane. So now I'm on Google Sheet. Let's click File, Import, Upload, and let's see what that data set looks like. In downloads, it's right here, open, import data, and boom, we have the data set. Obviously, it doesn't look too pretty, but we have 2,000 rows of tweets or anything that we need. So as a low-level developer, you can use this, you can build tools, you can do all sorts of interesting things, but you have the whole noise according to the keywords that you selected all in a spreadsheet. You can use it, you can sell it, you can monetize it somehow. It's up for you to decide. Wow, guys, so this is a live demonstration of their new tool, Nebula. And as you can see, the date range is between October 2023 and February of 2025, because I think they're still in beta mode, but these are all the messages across the Bittensor Discord. It's literally insane. So as you can see, they're not filtered right now. And if we write tau, boom, the Nebula instantly gets smaller. It is super professional and you can see who says what about each post and where and their username. And they have a summary, they have a records over time, they have a sentiment, which is probably connected to some AI to determine that. So, you know, technical people can do some interesting things with these Discord messages. So this is something to keep an eye on. But this in general was their tool Nebula. And in the future, I think you would be able to upload your own data set into this to visualize it differently. But I thought it was a pretty interesting tool to showcase as well. So obviously when I get the hang of this would be super interesting for me to plug myself in, because like I said, I build Bittensor alpha tools and for me, information is literally everything. So obviously data is here to stay. There's so many potential use cases, anywhere ranging from AI and large language model development, because you need the data to train the models. Researchers and people who spend their life working in academia to study social data and just behaviors in general. Media and communication for public research teams, journalists, analysts that want to know stories ahead of time. Also in politics and governments to track public opinion. So Datauniverse actually knows who likes Trump, who likes Biden, all these political debates. Marketing and PR to track sentiment and discovering new trends that are about to blow up with data. This is super important. I do like Datauniverse's roadmap. They plan to become the foundational layer for AI-ready datasets, and that I do know it is extremely important because models are just going to get more heavy, more expensive, and proper data sets for training are going to be required. They also want to reach Web 2, not only crypto folks, and have a bunch more data sources for miners to scrape on, not just Reddit, YouTube, and X. So it's simple. Who are their clients and what's their revenue model? It's basically anybody, a normal person that wants to build a small tool and maybe monetize it, or even enterprise grade companies and clients that need millions of rows of data to train AI, to have information, to track sentiment, to improve their own products with social conversations, anything. Their revenue model is pretty solid. They have two products. One is at $99 per month, probably the one I will be using, and more of the higher end product for people that need large size is at $500 per month. So it's pretty rare that you see subnets with these kind of pricey products. So this makes me much more optimistic as to their alpha token, because if they generate a lot of revenue, it is the #1 driver attracting retail stakers and investors, which are like shareholders, into that subnet. So, am I a buyer of this subnet? Drum roll. Unfortunately, I do not see myself buying that subnet just yet. If you've been following this channel, I like buying underground subnets that aren't known in the price range of 0.001 to 0.004 tau per alpha token. And at the moment, Datauniverse is actually sustaining an almost 90% drawdown, because as you saw, the miners are working really hard. But in my opinion, the narrative simply isn't there. There's not enough retail hype for people to understand why should they invest in that subnet. But long term, I think their revenue model is very solid. They have pretty pricey monthly products for people, researchers, developers, AI teams, startups, even people like me that want to build small tools and need large scales of data. It is the perfect product for us. But I do not think the subnet right now has significant alpha buybacks. Maybe some social media presence it's needed, or maybe a better marketing team on X for people to understand why should they put their hard-earned tau into that subnet. And I think in general, the subnet market is scared of that type of price action, because you see that vertical downstepping bleeding price action, and people are just getting skewed away from that subnet, even though it's good. I will personally test their products for a month or two seriously, and if I like them, I will actually support that subnet, because if I'm using their products, this means that eventually they are going to generate revenue and it's going to make a lot of noise on crypto Twitter. So for me to be considered a buyer, I would need to use their products for at least 2 months and keep you guys updated in a few months or weeks if I bought that subnet. But for now, it's a strict no. But I do love the ideology. I do love the use cases. I think that subnet is here to stay. If you look at Macrocosmos' team, it's probably one of the most professional teams. But the reality is the miners have a lot of expenses, so the price action is bleeding down. It is currently at about the average subnet price, but if it dips for another 50%, I think I will get my feet wet and buy that subnet. So guys, I think we've covered everything. I learned a ton. I love making these subnet simplified videos because I actually learn while I film this video, and it gives me a good gut feeling as to if I should buy that subnet, trade it, hold it, sell it, who knows. But I really enjoy learning about subnets every day, and this is the exact reason I made this playlist. Subnets simplified, because learning Bittensor is like going to university. I've said it maybe 100 times on this channel, and right now there's 128 different subnets or companies to study every day, and I am racing to make those videos for you guys to understand the subnet ecosystem. What is Bittensor actually doing? Who is Bittensor competing against? What are the milestones? What are the achievements? And why is tau and subnets actually hype? This is the main reason of this channel. It is a Bittensor focused channel because I've quit everything and I'm giving my life to understanding Bittensor on a deeper level. I want to understand subnets. I want to mine. I want to provide value. I want to educate people. I want to onboard people to this ecosystem because I think it is the next big thing in crypto. So with that being said, hope you've learned something. Let me know if you plug yourself into Datauniverse's products, because I sure will in a few weeks. If you have a question or comment, leave it down below. I'll be happy to answer you guys. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.